Even for my birthday, man. Got me drinking, cuz. I don't even drink, cuz. The pool party start today at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock. Drinking, cuz. I don't even drink, cuz. Appreciate everybody popping out for my birthday, you know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Everybody got their shot, put their shots in the air, man. Okay, David. Everybody take that shit on 3, man. 1, 2, 3. We came deep for my birthday, man. Everybody coming out to fair. No caps, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We deep as hell. We deep as hell. 20 deep.
26-year-old Charles Jones was also known as Julio Foolio, was reportedly there to celebrate his birthday. I think he was turning, 26 or 27. Police are still trying to figure out a motive for the shooting. But in some of his songs, he made jokes about the murders of people in other groups as well as rappers.
You're saying that's not true?
No, I ain't saying that. No, we don't. He don't. It's like, we done DM'd each other before.
Okay. So you DM'd each other. So there's been some communication between.
For sure. And like this little clubhouse stuff, shit.
Okay. And when he said that he thinks the beef will end sooner than later, it sounds like he wants to figure out a way to squash it. It sounded like he wants to somehow work things out. Are you open to working things out?
He want to work stuff out because he know he don't know me for real. So it's like I say, like, he don't, like, he got what he wanted. Like, he got the fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? He went up. So now he got what he wants. Now it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, bro, I don't know.
Okay. So what he said was, and we'll play the clip, was that you guys have talked a couple of times, and he thinks that the beef will end sooner than later.
I don't know him. I never seen him before.
You getting over this is not going to prove anything.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, your mom is still alive, right?
Yeah.
You know, you got siblings?
Yup. I got 2 sisters, a little god sister, and a big brother.
Right. You got people who love you.
Yeah.
The day we're shooting for when I see you, who I smoke,
Who I Smoke came out of nowhere, went crazy, kind of made it more mainstream to where people who don't even know y'all, they were tapped into it. Did you make them do that?
Oh, I took it too far when they made a song first. Speaking, once the dead get involved.
Rappers in Jacksonville, Julio Foolio was a rapper whose death shocked the industry. It's insane work getting killed on your birthday, yet many people believe that his death was inevitable. Many realized Foolio was a dead man walking since he had been sharing details of his birthday on social media days in advance and had been posting his location online. And now, chilling new video of his death has emerged, which may help explain what transpired the morning the rapper was killed. Now, let's get started. Death occurs to Foolio. Julio Foolio, whose real name is Charles Jones, had a momentous day on June 21st, 2024. The rapper from Florida was celebrating his birthday and wanted to make it special. Using Instagram, Foolio sent an invitation to his friends and supporters to join him for a Tampa Airbnb pool party. A night of fun and celebration was promised in the event's heavy social media promotion.
Pool party start today at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock.
The celebration got off to a great start. With music playing, people dancing, and everyone in a good mood, the atmosphere was electrifying. Foolio was surrounded by friends, admirers, and other artists as they celebrated his auspicious day. The rapper posted pictures of the event on his Instagram story, showcasing the animated group of people enjoying themselves.
Drinking, cuz. I don't even drink, cuz. Appreciate everybody popping out for my birthday, you know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday!
Everybody got their shot, put their shot in the air, man. Okay, David. Everybody take that shit on 3, man. 1, 2, 3.
But the party became out of control as the evening went on. Both the size of the audience and the volume of the noise increased. Julio Foolio, Foolio's lawyer, claims that the gathering got too boisterous, and the local police were called. When law enforcement got there, they decided to end the party because of the large number of people there and the noise complaints. Foolio's attorney informed the media that Mr. Jones had spent the weekend in Tampa celebrating his birthday. According to law enforcement reports, he was asked to leave his Airbnb when it was discovered that he had stayed there longer than allowed. Foolio vented his displeasure on Instagram once more. He wrote on social media that the cops had broken up the party and ejected him from the Airbnb. "We were shut down by police and expelled from Airbnb. It's insane work," he wrote. Foolio and his group had to find somewhere else to stay for the night since the party had to end early.
We came deep for my birthday, man. Everybody coming out the stairs. No cap, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We deep as hell. We deep as hell. 20 deep.
It was meant to be a stopgap measure, somewhere to reassemble and carry on with the celebrations in a more subdued setting. However, what was supposed to be a safe haven ended up becoming the scene of a horrifying tragedy. 2 days after his birthday, in the wee hours of June 23rd, Foolio and 3 other people were in the hotel parking lot in their automobiles. They had no idea that danger lurked around. Unknown attackers moved in and started shooting, ambushing the party with a vicious onslaught. It was an efficient and lethal ambush. The aftermath was heartbreaking and disorganized. When Tampa police got there, Foolio was already dead from his injuries. 3 other people were hurt and taken to the hospital right away. Their conditions were classified as stable. Investigators set up a crime scene in the hotel parking lot, going through security footage and sorting through evidence. The girl from Foolio made a posting on X to express her grief. "I lost my boyfriend to you guys. I detest everyone, and I won't be the only one in tears." The ambulance was the subject of an urgent inquiry by law enforcement. The Holiday Inn's surveillance footage is being carefully examined, but no suspects have been taken into custody as of yet. In Jacksonville, it's a known truth that the killers are not being identified by the police. Who is behind the hit is well known to all. They also published a music video in which they revealed their own snitch just 1 day after the murder. Yungeen Ace, Foolio's principal operator, dropped a music video for the rap song Do It. I never even address him by name. They're my lil do-its. Come on, let's do it. Bitch calls him and claims to have gotten the low. I instructed them to do it. Though Foolio's admirers focused on a woman they think set up the rapper, everyone in Jacksonville knows who did it. Some admirers claim that she assisted in setting up Foolio and helping to organize his party. She was with the rapper based on her post from that evening. One post, though, looked a little fishy and appeared to reveal their whereabouts. What's going on then? Arrive at reality 18. Till 6, Julio Foolio was open. The woman, who had received multiple death threats from Foolio's fans, denied any connection to the rapper's murder. She cleared her reputation on Instagram by claiming that she only shared content that the rapper had approved. We only shared one narrative post, Toy Share, which we were given permission to post on his behalf. The flyer we distributed, which was also mentioned in a post by the artist. Everything went perfectly that entire evening. Positive energy and no negative vibes. Considering how smoothly the evening went, this was totally unexpected. She wrote, "Please stop spreading these completely untrue and inaccurate fake rumors and posts." Furthermore, Foolio had received multiple warnings that there was a bounty on his head, despite her admirers' attempts to hold her responsible for the rapper's death. Foolio is informed that there are individuals trying to get him in an X space that surfaced, but he ignores the warning.
I'll cash out on you.
I'm not I'm scared of y'all. I don't want no.
Aside from that, when he posted about the party a few days previously, his admirers pleaded with him not to throw it. The rapper revealed his birthday plans in Tampa on June 14th, along with the time, on an Instagram flyer he posted. His fans informed him right away that it was a horrible idea. One admirer replied, "Drop in your location a week before, those boys finna spend that, and you drop the time." Another person stated, "I'm good game, unless you got Secret Service with you." It seemed that everyone, with the exception of Foolio, understood that his way of life would only serve to draw attention to himself. He was also a sitting duck now that they knew exactly where to look for him a week ahead of time. Foolio wasn't perfect. For many years, Jacksonville, Florida was immersed in a brutal gang war, with him as one of the two faces. He was one half of the notorious ATK versus KTA gang war in the city that has resulted in numerous fatalities. The two most dangerous gangs in the city are these two. And now that he has contributed to the gang war, Foolio is a victim of it. To what extent are these two groups dangerous? The KTA of ATKV. One need only study a few of the senseless killings committed by Foolio's KTA and Yungeen Ace's ATK to comprehend why they are regarded as Jacksonville's most dangerous gang members. First up, we have Corbin Odell Johnson's murder by KTA. The energetic 18-year-old FaceTimed his pals at 4 in the afternoon on July 11th, 2018. They had no idea that this would be the final time they saw Corbin alive. Corbin had informed his pals that he was waiting for a ride at Amazon while attending a job interview. Corey Mormon, his father, related how he dropped his son off at 5 p.m. for a job interview with UPS and then picked him up 45 minutes later. Later, at 8 o'clock in the evening, he took Corbin to his mother's house on Biscayne Bay Circle. The last time Melissa Mormon Jackson, his mother, saw her son was around 9:30 that evening. As time passed, Corey sent his son a text message at 8:45 the next morning, and when it went unanswered, it set off an alarm, a ringing in his dad's heart. The family became so concerned that they took official action at 6:30 p.m. on July 13th and reported Corbin missing. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office started looking into it, but they never found anything. Weeks became days, weeks became months, and months became a year of excruciating uncertainty. The family organized a memorial service at Riverside Memorial Park as the first anniversary of Corbin's abduction drew near. However, Corbin's story had a different ending scripted by fate. A guy clearing ground off Utsey Road in the evening of July 11th, 2019, discovered an unexpected find. A tragic conclusion to the hunt was reached when Corbin's skeleton was discovered wrapped and buried. Following the finding, Pancho Foolio, the head of KTA, was all over Instagram mocking Corbin.
Corbin, they let Corbin get kidnapped, man. Shit crazy, man. The Corbin. Got this stupid kidnapped. They found a bones. Kidnapped like a little baby, like a little boy.
When one of their own was brutally murdered and his death was mocked by ATK a few months ago, you just need to go back to see why he would go online and make fun of such a horrible incident. A 16-year-old Adrian Gaynor Jr., often known as Bibby, was attending Grand Park High School when he had an unfortunate incident that left his family in deep grief and the city reeling. There was a cry for justice after this young man's life was violently and unexpectedly taken in the Friends parking lot. Foolio was so devastated by the death that he recorded a song in his memory. The Hilltop Village Apartments parking area on West 45th Street is where Bibby's life was discovered on February 25th, 2019. The person who was shot many times. Dozens of rifle shot shells lay scattered around the gazebo where he'd been spending time, marking the route of his last-ditch attempt to get away from his attacker. The teenager was reportedly being pursued by witnesses. They watched as Bibi fell and was hit by bullets while he made a vain attempt to defend himself by covering his head with his hands. The arrest warrant states that Hakeem Robinson, also known as K-So, an ATK affiliate, approached Bibi and shot him in the back of the head at close range, while the young adolescent was still attempting to protect himself. This was a cold-blooded act. The arrest warrant also revealed that K-So had turned to social media following the infant's death, posting a number of pictures and videos that appeared to be boasting about the murder of the kid. This egregious act of disrespect for human life escalated the grief and rage of the community and gave the case a new dimension of horror. And it appears that K-So and his group accomplished more than just boast about hitting Bibi. It turns out that they even disrespected his grave and made fun of his family whenever they had the chance.
They tore up his grave, they spit on his grave, they urinated on his grave, they made fun of our rallies or whatever, they made fun of us marching, they mocked us every chance that they...
Civil rapper Charles Jones, known as Julio Foolio, in Tampa.
Okay, so what he said was, and we'll play the clip, was that you guys have talked a couple of times, and he thinks that the beef will end sooner than later.
I don't know him. I never seen him before.
You getting over this is not going to prove anything.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, your mom is still alive, right?
Yeah.
You know, you got siblings?
Yup. I got 2 sisters, a little god sister, and a big brother.
Right. You got people who love you.
Definitely.
Another young person has died as a result of the dispute in Florida's rap culture. Recently, 26-year-old Julio Foolio was singled out while having a birthday celebration. This sad incident adds to the horrifying past of his notorious rivalry with Yungeen Ace, a fellow rapper from Florida. Furthermore, there are reports that Yungeen is currently evading capture after allegedly boasting in a new song about having ordered the hit on Foolio. In a startling turn of events, Yungeen dropped a brand new diss song called Do It, mere hours after Foolio passed away. Additionally, he tweeted something that seemed to make fun of Foolio's passing. There has always been a rivalry between the two rappers and Foolio's KTA and Ace's ATK. This most recent tragedy is part of that rivalry. Additionally, Foolio and Yungeen have both already lost siblings and other friends and family members as a result of their beef. Furthermore, federal officials are purportedly concentrating on Yungeen in relation to this incident in light of Foolio's passing.
You will have kids at one point. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you want to live long enough to have kids.
For sure.
And if you keep going down this road, you're never going to experience what it's like to have kids, which is one of the greatest experiences a human being can have. You know, yeah, you could go down and say, okay, you know, Foolio, he didn't take from nobody, whatever else, but you're not around to, you know, to feel that love because you're gone.
What you trying to? And it's crazy because I done died death so many times. Sometimes I just be like, this is just the way I live. I don't know, like, I don't know. I just see death so much.
In Allison, a prominent rapper, Charles Jones, whose stage name is Julio Foolio, was celebrating his birthday here in Tampa when it was cut short. Take a look here, a bullet hole here at the wall of this hotel. Also, I'm going to show you here, this window appears to be boarded up. Now, Jones's longtime attorney confirmed very limited details as to what happened here.
Foolio, real name Charles Jones, was one of 4 people shot during the confrontation outside the hotel, according to the Tampa Police Department, who verified this to 2XL magazine. The TPD said in a statement that at approximately 4:40 a.m., Tampa police received a 900 for A at 11606 McKinley Drive, and a total of 4 people were injured. 1 person was pronounced deceased, and 3 other victims are being treated at the hospital. The statement continued by saying, police are investigating what led up to the incident and working to identify those involved. This is an active investigation. Additional information will be released when available. In the meantime, Foolio was celebrating his 26th birthday and was living at an Airbnb, according to News 4, Jax and Foolio's lawyer, Louis Fusco. They moved to a different place when Foolio was asked to leave by the host for having too many guests. Regretfully, Foolio and his pals posted information about their new location on social media. Furthermore, Foolio's attorney claims that after being ejected from the Airbnb, Foolio was accosted at the Holiday Inn Hotel, where he had taken a room.
Attorney Louis Fusco, who represents Jones, confirms the rapper was kicked out of an Airbnb, then went to a hotel. That's where investigators believe Jones and his entourage were ambushed. Social media posts point to the rapper celebrating his birthday, and witnesses say it was interrupted by an unknown group. Now the search is on for the parties involved in the shooting.
In case you're not familiar with Foolio's background, he was a Jacksonville, Florida-born rising star in the rap scene. Additionally, he had a sizable social media following with over 600,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel and over 1 million Instagram followers. However, Foolio was also well known for his outrageous public spat with Yungeen Ace, a rapper from Florida. Furthermore, this dispute was based on a long-standing rivalry between their ATK and was not just a personal one.
ATK gang. Investigators say this organization is connected to a string in Jacksonville.
There's many names for ATK, Ace's top one. 9 people, potentially responsible for 15 of, and who knows.
Years of simmering enmity between the 2 crews culminated in a number of deadly incidents. The tension between the 2 groups escalated dramatically in 2017 when Foolio's 17-year-old cousin, Dion Brown, was targeted, and shortly after, DeAndre Thomas, an associate of Yungeen Ace, was charged. Between 2018 and 2021, there were more pointless deaths as a result of the chain reaction that this incident started. Yungeen Ace was the target of a drive-by in June 2018, which claimed the lives of Trevin Bullard, his brother, and 2 other people. Yungeen Ace took 8 hits before she made it out alive. The fact that Foolio appeared to be celebrating Yungeen's brother's murder on social media only served to heighten the hostility between these 2 groups. When Yungeen Ace, Spinner Ben's Wappa with the Choppa, and Fast Money Goon released the song Who I Smoke in March 2021, the feud took on new dimensions.
Hey, we're shooting for When I See You, Who I Smoke.
Who I Smoke came out of nowhere, went crazy, kind of made it more mainstream to where people who don't even know y'all, they were tapped into it. Did you make them do that?
I don't know. I took it too far when they made a song for a speaker. Once the dead get involved, it's already too.
The chorus of the song Who I Smoke, which copied Vanessa Carlton's 2002 smash song 1,000 Miles, listed the names of Foolio's crew members who had passed away. Foolio reacted shortly afterward with a song titled When I See You. A news article on the 2018 event that killed Yungeen Ace's brother opened this track. Alongside images of Ace's late brother and friends, Foolio danced in a graveyard for the song's similarly inflammatory music video. Both Foolio and Yungeen have mentioned their disagreement in passing over the years in interviews, but they have largely refrained from delving into specifics. Foolio spoke with Vlad TV in July 2021 on Yungeen's dissing of his late younger brother on Who I Smoke. Furthermore, he asserted that several of the listeners that joined Yungeen on that song were formerly his fans before they converted.
I grew around a lot of, you know what I'm saying, Haitians and cutthroats, and it's just a lot. That's just what it is in Florida.
Okay, because I remember there's like a lyric where he said like my grandma Zoe or something like that.
I say, my grandma do voodoo, and we chop the head off a goose. I got a couple songs referencing like stuff, cause like that's what I'm tied in with. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's why I came to that conclusion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
Okay, so what part of Jacksonville did you grow up in?
The north side, 1646, West 45th Street, Hilltop Village Apartments. It's like the worst hood in Jacksonville, like literally the worst hood, Hilltop Village Apartments.
Then, when Vlad questioned Foolio about whether he believed the disagreement should be resolved amicably to save more deaths, Foolio just replied that they will eventually get down and have a conversation. Additionally, he disclosed that he had previously spoken with Yungeen on a few occasions and asserted that neither of them desired to see one other.
It just sounds like this is just going to keep continuing, and more bodies are going to drop, more people are going to get shot, more mothers are going to cry, people are going to lose their brothers and friends and everything else like that. Could there be anything that could be done with, let's just say, you and Yungeen Ace sitting down together and saying, look, a lot of on both ends, but we have to just basically, we don't have to be friends, but we got to get past this and kind of just move on with our careers because we're both successful in our own way.
It probably happen sooner than later. You never know what God got planned, I told him that a couple times, We be talking time to time, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never know what can happen. It ain't no, you know what I'm saying? We want to kill each other now. We just mutual.
However, Yungeen denied ever having met Foolio face-to-face and asserted that Foolio and his group were only making fun of him for likes and views when he made an appearance on Vlad TV shortly after.
So what he said was, and we'll play the clip, was that you guys have talked a couple of times, and he thinks that the beef will end sooner than later.
I don't know him. I never seen him before in my life.
In person?
Never seen him.
Okay.
No, but that's none of them. Anybody in my city that's into me who rap. See, this is the thing. See, okay, my city, it's like everybody in my city, they all rap, right? So they rap to diss me so they can get views, so I can respond. So that's their way of like getting on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, it's like a whole, like when I got, everybody went to claim me a shot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was like a whole little big city. So everybody who rap in my city, like who would, they beefing with me right now, none of them even know me. I never even seen them before. You know what I'm saying? So all of them, nobody, I don't know none of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So everybody started beefing with me out of the blue just cause I got on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know them, so I don't really can't with them. I don't know them now.
Well, you've never met him in person, and the two of you actually talked about it.
Now, Yungeen did finally acknowledge that he had previously dia with Foolio. Vlad mentioned that Foolio was willing to resolve the conflict and work things out, but Yungeen didn't seem to be very receptive to that notion.
He said that you guys had talked. You're saying that's not true.
No, I ain't saying that. No, we don't. He don't. It's like, we done DM'd each other before.
Okay. So you've DM'd each other. So there's been some communication between
For sure. And like this little clubhouse still shit.
Okay. And when he said that he thinks that the beef will end sooner than later, it sounds like he wants to figure out a way to squash it. It sounded like he wants to somehow work things out. Are you open to working things out with him?
He wanna work stuff out because he know he don't know me for real. So it's like I say, like, he don't, like, he got what he wanted. Like he got the fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? He got it. He went up. So now he got what he wanted. So now it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, bro, I don't know him.
However, supporters claim that Vlad misinterpreted Foolio's statement that the feud will end eventually. It seems that he was not discussing his intentions to have a conversation with Yungeen over a cup of tea. As a result, there is a great deal of conjecture now that Yungeen chose to catch Foolio sliding first. And regrettably, we are currently covering yet another tragedy. And the fact that this cycle will probably go on even without Foolio makes his death all the more heartbreaking. According to Jacksonville-based crime researcher Tom Hackney, who recently spoke with Tampa's WFLA TV, Foolio's passing would only make the current issue worse. Thus, when someone from a competing group emerges, they believe they should be retaliated against for his, and it just keeps happening, according to Hackney. This is where things get even more bizarre, especially in regards to Yungeen Ace. Not too long after Foolio's death, Young released a new diss song titled "I Told Them to Do It." In essence, it sounds as though he may be acknowledging that he gave the order to kill Foolio. Furthermore, just after word of Foolio's surfaced, Yungeen also tweeted something that has since been removed, that boy going back the same day he came in. Furthermore, you don't need to be a detective to figure out who Yungeen was referring to, as Foolio was enjoying his birthday at the time. Furthermore, according to multiple accounts, Yungeen has fled, and the federal authorities are now investigating his role in it. As for the fans, they claim that this is a etabed culture, with a group of adult males acting like kids right out of the school bus and continuously bickering and fighting over trivial issues. Hip-hop is comparable to America's youth demographic. I sensed that evil spirit when I listened to one of this dude's songs around a year ago. Another fan said, "The number of young black males who are enmeshed in that nonsensical lifestyle and who listen to that rubbish music. But how do you feel about this awful circumstance? Is there any possibility that this feud may end soon? Or will Foolio's passing simply make things more violent on Florida's streets?" I want to know what you think. Please leave a remark below in comment section. Charles Jones, a rapper from Tampa, Florida, who went by Julio Foolio, was involved in a terrible incident. Another young person has died as a result of the ongoing war in Florida's rap culture. As he was celebrating his birthday, Julio Foolio, who had just turned 26, was targeted. This tragic incident intensifies his bitter rivalry with Yungeen Ace, another rapper from Florida, which has a long and terrible history. Yungeen Ace is allegedly on the run after allegedly boasting in a new song that he ordered the attack on Julio Foolio. Yungeen Ace unexpectedly dropped a new trash song called "Do It" just hours after Julio Foolio's death. Additionally, he tweeted something that seemed to make fun of Julio Foolio's passing. The two rappers and their groups have a long-standing rivalry that is reflected in this most recent tragedy. Julio Yungeen Ace's squad is known as 8KS, and Julio's crew is named Kata. Due to their rivalry, Julio Foolio and Yungeen Ace have already lost a number of friends and family members, including their siblings. Federal officials are reportedly concentrating on Yungeen Ace in relation to this incident in light of Julio Foolio's demise. Julio Foolio, whose real name was Charles Jones, was one of 4 people hurt during the incident outside a hotel, the Tampa Police Department revealed to Excel magazine. According to a statement from the TPD, 4 people were hurt after Tampa police received a 911 call from 11606 McKinley Drive at around 4:40 a.m. 3 other victims are receiving medical attention at the hospital, while 1 victim was declared dead. In addition to trying to identify people involved, The authorities are looking into what preceded the incident. This is an ongoing inquiry, and further details will be made public as they become available. As for Julio Foolio, he was celebrating his 26th birthday and was staying at an Airbnb when the host ejected him for having too many guests, according to U.S. Attorney Louis Fusco, who spoke with News 4 Jax. He and his companions then moved to a different location. Regretfully, they spread word of this new location via social media. After being ejected from the Airbnb, Julio Foolio rented a room at the Holiday Inn Hotel, where he was ambushed, according to his lawyer. If you don't know Julio Foolio's background, he was a rising talent from Jacksonville, Florida, in the rap scene. With more than 1 million Instagram followers and more than 600,000 YouTube subscribers, he had a sizable social media following. However, Julio Foolio was also well known for his intense public conflict with Yungeen Ace, a rapper from Florida. This disagreement sprang from a long-standing rivalry between their crews, Kada and 8KS, and was more than just a personal problem. Years of simmering hatred between the two teams have resulted in a number of terrible incidents. In 2017, when Zion Brown, a 17-year-old cousin of Julio Foolio, was targeted, the hostility between the two groups began to escalate significantly. Deandra Thomas, a Yungeen Ace associate, was charged shortly afterward. Between 2018 and 2021, there were more pointless deaths as a result of the chain reaction that this incident started. Aside from the rappers themselves, members of their respective crews are also characters involved in this conflict. Both Kiki, Julio Foolio's girlfriend, and Rico, his best friend, have been severely impacted by the violence that has been going on. T-Rex, Yungeen Ace's right-hand man, and Lisa, his sister, were also in danger as a result of the conflict. There is still tension in the Florida rap industry as rival groups continue to conflict, which is tragic and causes heartache for many of those involved. Though it's a challenging battle due to the rivalry's deep roots, the authorities are working hard to bring about peace and justice. The terrible deaths of his brother Trevin Bullard and 2 other people occurred in June 2018 when Yungeen Ace was targeted in a drive-by shooting. Yungeen Ace was struck 8 times, but he made it. As Julio Foolio appeared to celebrate the deaths of Yungeen Ace's brother on social media, this incident further fueled the continuing rivalry between Julio Foolio's gang and Yungeen Ace's crew. When Benz Wappa, Yungeen Ace, The Choppa, and Fast Money Goon released the song Who I Smoke in March 2021, the dispute escalated to new heights. This song included a chorus that listed the departed members of Julio Foolio's crew and sampled Vanessa Carlton's 2002 hit song, 1,000 Miles. Julio Foolio answered shortly afterward with a song titled When I See You. A news article on the 2018 incident that killed Yungeen Ace's brother opened this track. The song's controversial music video had Julio dancing in a graveyard beside pictures of Ace's friend and brother who had passed away. Yungeen Ace and Julio Foolio have both mentioned their feud in passing in interviews over the years. However, they have largely refrained from discussing the dispute in depth. Julio Foolio spoke with Vlad TV in July 2021 on Yungeen Ace's dissing of his late younger brother on Who I Smoke. He asserted that before switching sides, a few of the individuals who worked with Yungeen Ace on that song were his supporters. In response to Vlad's question on whether Julio Foolio thought the beef should be resolved before more people died, Julio Foolio replied that they would most likely get down and discuss it sooner rather than later. Additionally, he disclosed that he had previously had conversations with Yungeen Ace and asserted that neither of them desired the violence to persist. Yungeen Ace, however, denied ever having seen Julio Foolio face-to-face, and asserted that Julio Foolio and his group were making fun of him for likes and views when he made an appearance on Vlad TV shortly after. Eventually, young Ace acknowledged that he had previously messaged Julio Foolio. However, young Ace didn't seem receptive to the proposal when Vlad implied that Julio Foolio was open to settling the dispute and squashing the beef. Supporters thought that when Julio Foolio stated that the beef would cease sooner or later, Vlad didn't understand what he meant. Julio Foolio didn't seem to be suggesting that young Ace and him sit down and hash things out. Rather, he intended for it to end when he and his group discovered young Ace falling. It appears that young Ace received the message, as there is now much conjecture that young Ace chose to capture Julio Foolio first. And now, regrettably, here we are covering another catastrophe. The possibility that this cycle of violence would go on even after Julio Foolio passes away adds to the tragedy of his death. The passing of Julio Foolio, according to Jacksonville crime researcher Tom Hackney, will only escalate the current issue. According to Hackney, this will cause his squad to feel compelled to take revenge on a rival group, and it will continue like way. In June 2018, a drive-by shooting targeted young Ace, resulting in the untimely deaths of Trevin Bullard, his brother, and 2 other people. Even after taking 8 hits, young Ace managed to survive. The existing rivalry between Julio Foolio's gang and young Ace's team was further fueled by this incident. In the role of Julio on social media, Julio appeared to be celebrating the deaths of young Ace's brother. When young Ace, Ben Zwappa, The Choppa, and Fast Money Goon released the song Who I Smoke in March 2021, the dispute escalated to new heights. The chorus of this song, which used a sample of Vanessa Carlton's 2002 hit song, 1,000 Miles, listed the crew members of Julio Foolio who had passed away. Julio Foolio answered shortly afterward with a song titled When I See You. A news article about the 2018 incident that killed young Ace's brother opened this track. The song's provocative music video featured Julio Foolio dancing at a graveyard beside pictures of Ace's friend and brother who had passed away. Young Ace and Julio Foolio have both mentioned their rivalry in passing in interviews over the years, but they have largely refrained from going into specifics about the dispute. During an interview with Vlad TV in July 2021, Julio Foolio stated how young Ace had dissed his late little brother on Who I Smoke. He asserted that before switching sides, a few of the individuals who worked with young Ace on that song were his supporters. Vlad questioned Julio Foolio on whether he believed the beef should be resolved before more people died. They would eventually get down and have a conversation about it, according to Julio Foolio. Additionally, he disclosed that he had previously had conversations with young Ace and asserted that neither of them desired the violence to persist. Young Ace, however, denied ever having seen Julio Foolio face-to-face and asserted that Julio Foolio and his group were making fun of him for likes and views when he made an appearance on Vlad TV shortly after. Eventually, young Ace acknowledged that he had previously messaged Julio Foolio. However, young Ace didn't seem receptive to the proposal when Vlad implied that Julio Foolio was open to settling the dispute and squashing the beef. Supporters thought that when Julio Foolio stated that the beef would cease sooner or later, Vlad didn't understand what he meant. It seems that Julio Foolio was referring to the fact that it would end when he and his group discovered young Ace making a mistake, rather than sitting down and trying to work things out with young Ace. It appears that young Ace received the message, as there is now much conjecture that young Ace chose to capture Julio Foolio first. And now, regrettably, here we are covering another catastrophe. The possibility that Julio Foolio's death won't stop this cycle of violence is what makes his loss all the more heartbreaking. The passing of Julio Foolio, according to Jacksonville crime researcher Tom Hackney, will only escalate the current issue. According to Hackney, this will lead to his team feeling compelled to take revenge on a competing group, and the cycle will continue. What are your thoughts on this sad circumstance then? Is there any possibility that this beef will lessen? Or will the violence on Florida's streets only escalate as a result of Julio Foolio's death? I want to know what you think. Please leave a remark below. Rapper Charles Jones, also known as Julio Foolio, was involved in a horrific incident in Tampa, Florida. The ongoing fight in Florida's rap culture has claimed the life of another young person. Julio Foolio had just turned 26 when he was celebrating his birthday. His long-standing and severe enmity with fellow Florida rapper Yungeen Ace is heightened by this horrific incident. It has been reported that Yungeen Ace is currently on the run, having bragged in a new song that he gave the order to attack Julio Foolio. Only a few hours after Julio Foolio's passing, Yungeen Ace unintentionally released a brand new garbage song titled "Do It." He also tweeted something that appeared to mock Julio Foolio's demise. The latest tragedy is a reflection of the long-standing antagonism between the two rappers and their groups. Julio, Kata, is the name of Julio's crew, while 8Ks is the name of Yungeen Ace's squad. Julio Foolio and Yungeen Ace had already lost a number of friends and family members, including their brothers, as a result of their rivalry. In light of Julio Foolio's passing, federal authorities are allegedly focusing on Yungeen Ace in regard to this incident. The Tampa Police Department disclosed to Excel magazine that Julio Foolio, whose real name was Charles Jones, was one of 4 persons injured during the incident outside a hotel. 4 people were injured, according to a TPD statement, when Tampa police responded to a 911 call at 4:40 a.m. from 11606 McKinley Drive. 1 victim was pronounced deceased, and 3 more are being treated for injuries at the hospital. The authorities are investigating what happened before the incident, in addition to trying to identify the individuals involved. This is a continuing investigation, and more information will be released as it becomes available. According to U.S. Attorney Louis Fusco, who spoke with News4Jax, Julio was celebrating his 26th birthday and was staying at an Airbnb when the host expelled him for having too many visitors. Subsequently, he relocated with his friends. They regrettably used social media to announce this new location. Julio Foolio hired a room at the Holiday Inn Hotel after being kicked out of the Airbnb when, according to his attorney, he was ambushed. If you're unfamiliar with Julio Foolio, he was a rising star in the Florida rap scene, hailing from Jacksonville. He has a substantial social media following, with over 600,000 YouTube subscribers, but Julio Foolio was also well known for his acrimonious public feud with Florida rapper Yungeen Ace. This wasn't just a personal issue. It was the result of a long-standing competition between Kata and 8K's teams. The two teams' long-simmering animosity has led to a number of horrific tragedies. When Zion Brown, Julio Foolio's 17-year-old cousin, was targeted in 2017, the animosity between the two groups grew dramatically. Shortly later, a young colleague of Ace, Deandra Thomas, was charged. More needless fatalities occurred between 2018 and 2021 as a result of the domino effect that this incident sparked. Characters involved in this fight include members of the rappers' respective crews, in addition to themselves. Julio Foolio's best buddy Rico and girlfriend Kiki have both suffered greatly as a result of the ongoing violence. The battle also put Lisa, Yungeen Ace's sister, and his right-hand guy, T-Rex, in jeopardy. It's sad and painful for many of those involved, yet rival factions in the Florida rap scene are still at odds with one another. Despite the difficult fight brought on by the long-standing rivalry, the authorities are making great efforts to establish justice and harmony. June 2018 saw the horrific shooting deaths of Trevin Bullard, his brother, and 2 other individuals when young Ace was the target of a drive-by shooting. Despite being hit 8 times, young Ace survived. This incident intensified the ongoing animosity between Julio Foolio's gang and young Ace's crew, as Julio Foolio appeared to celebrate the killings of young Ace's brother on social media. The conflict reached new heights when Ben's Wepe, Young Ace, The Choppa, and Fast Money Goon released the song Who I Smoke in March 2021. The chorus of this song featured a list of Julio Foolio's crew members who had passed away and a sample of Vanessa Carlton's 2002 hit song, 1,000 Miles. Shortly later, Julio responded with a song called When I See You. This track began with a news item on the 2018 incident that killed young Ace's brother. Julio danced in a graveyard next to images of Ace's deceased brother and friend in the contentious music video for the song. Juvenile Ace and Julio. Over the years, Julio has brought up their disagreement in passing during interviews, but they have mostly avoided going into much detail about the disagreement. In July 2021, Julio Foolio talked with Vlad TV over young Ace's criticism of his deceased younger brother on Who I Smoke. He said that several of the people who collaborated with young Ace on that song were his supporters prior to switching sides, saying that they will probably sit down and talk about it sooner rather than later. Julio Foolio answered Vlad's question about whether he thought the beef should be settled before more people died. He also revealed that he had spoken with young Ace in the past and claimed that neither of them wanted the violence to continue. But when young Ace appeared on Vlad TV shortly after, he denied ever having encountered Julio Foolio face-to-face and said that Julio and his crew were making fun of him for likes and views. Young Ace eventually admitted that he had messaged Julio Foolio in the past, but when Vlad hinted that Julio Foolio was amenable to blowing the feud and squashing the dispute, young Ace didn't appear to be open to the idea. Julio Foolio's supporters believed Vlad misunderstood him when he said the beef will end sooner or later. It didn't appear like Julio and Foolio were recommending that he and young Ace get down and work things out. Instead, he meant for it to end when he and his team found young Ace on the ground. Judging from the speculation that young Ace decided to capture Julio Foolio first, it seems that young Ace received the message. Unfortunately, we are currently discussing yet another disaster. The sorrow of Julio Foolio's killing is compounded by the prospect that this cycle of violence would continue beyond his death. Jacksonville crime researcher Tom Hackney believes that Julio's passing will only make the current situation worse. This, in Hackney's opinion, will make his team feel obligated to exact revenge on an other team, and it will continue much like Way. In June 2018, young Ace was the target of a drive-by shooting that claimed the lives of Trevin Bullard, his brother, and 2 other individuals. Young Ace was able to survive despite taking 8 hits. This incident intensified the already present animosity between young Ace's team and Julio Foolio's group. I appeared to be celebrating the deaths of young Ace's sibling on social media when I played Julio. The conflict reached new heights when young Ace, Ben Swappa, The Choppa, and Fast Money Goon released the song Who I Smoke in March 2021. This song named the crew members of Julio Foolio who had died in the chorus, which sampled Vanessa Carlton's 2002 smash song 1,000 Miles. Shortly after, Julio Foolio responded with a song called When I See You. This song began with a news report on the incident that murdered young Ace's brother in 2018. Julio danced in a graveyard next to images of Ace's deceased brother and friend in the song's controversial music video, Juvenile Ace and Julio. Over the years, Julio has both alluded to their feud in passing in interviews, but they have generally avoided getting into specifics regarding the disagreement. Julio Foolio revealed in a July 2021 interview with Vlad TV how young Ace had made fun of his late younger sibling on Who I Smoke. He said that several of the people who collaborated with young Ace on that song were his supporters prior to switching sides. Vlad asked Julio Foolio if he thought the dispute should be settled before more people perished. Julio Foolio said that at some point they will get down and talk about it. He also revealed that he had spoken with young Ace in the past and claimed that neither of them wanted the violence to continue. When young Ace appeared on Vlad TV shortly after, he claimed that Julio Foolio and his crew were making fun of him for his likes and views, but he denied ever having seen Julio Foolio in person. Young Ace eventually admitted that he had messaged Julio in the past. But when Vlad hinted that Julio Foolio was amenable to blowing the feud and squashing the dispute, young Ace didn't appear to be open to the idea. Julio Foolio's supporters believed Vlad misunderstood him when he said the beef will end sooner or later. Rather of sitting down and attempting to talk things out with young Ace, it appears that Julio Foolio was alluding to the idea that it would end when he and his friends discovered young Ace committing a mistake. It seems that young Ace got the message because a lot of speculation currently exists over his decision to apprehend Julio Foolio first. Unfortunately, we are currently discussing yet another disaster. The heartbreaking aspect of Julio Foolio's loss is the chance that his passing won't put an end to this cycle of violence. Jacksonville crime analyst Tom Hackney believes that Julio Foolio's passing will make the existing problem worse. Hackney claims that as a result, his team will feel pressured to exact revenge on a rival team, and the cycle will continue. What do you think about this unfortunate situation then? Is there a chance that this beef will subside? Or will Julio Foolio's passing simply cause the violence on Florida's streets to worsen? I'm curious about your thoughts. Kindly add a comment below.